Welcome back, everybody. This is the 20th video in our series on building a chess engine from scratch in the Java programming language. We've been focused on the player class, and we have so far created all of the sort of auxiliary helper methods and also the ability to calculate check, checkmate, and stalemate on the player class. In this video, I'm going to focus on how to have a player make a move. After this video is over, we're not going to be completely done with that concept because the magic of making a move really happens in the move class. Okay, let's just jump right into it, and hopefully it'll become obvious what I mean. So here we're going to go to the make move method, which we introduced, and we're going to say if the move is not legal, so is move legal. Move, that was a method that we wrote, right up here. If the move's not legal, then return a new move transition. And the move transition really represents a trend. You're right, it's a sort of a transition from one board to the next board after you make a move. And what we're going to do by convention is we're going to, if the move is legal, we're going to return the same board. So this stop board, right? We're not going to create a new board. We're not going to. There's no board that we transition to because the move is illegal. And the move status that we're going to return is move status dot illegal move. And obviously this doesn't exist. We're going to say create, well, I guess let's go in here and say illegal move. Is that what I called it? Let's see. Override the method. So is done is going to return false for illegal move, right? Because it's not, by definition, the move was not done if the move was illegal. Excuse me. So here we're going to do that, and it's complaining that. Let me see. Did I get the arguments correct here? Oh, right. I got to pass in the move. So we're going to pass in the move object. There we go. So if the move is illegal, then the transition that we return really is sort of, the transition's move status is going to be illegal, and we're going to return the same board that we came in on. There's not going to be a new board that we've transitioned to. Okay. So then what we're going to say is final. Now we're in the case where the move is not illegal. We're going to say final board transition board is equal to move.execute. Okay, so this method doesn't exist yet on the move class. We're going to have to introduce it. So I'm going to actually just, let's see if I can have the IDE help me here. Create abstract method execute. Right, and obviously that's going to create problems here. This is just we're going to implement the method. For now, it's not really going to do anything. We're going to come back to this when we get to the section on moves. But for now, assume that when you make a move that's legal, it's going to return a new board. That's what I want you to really pay attention to, is the signature on this execute method. We're going to have a board builder create a new board for us. Remember, the board class is immutable, so we're not going to mutate the existing board. We're actually going to create a new board using the board builder to execute the move. Okay? So now we execute the move, and then what we're going to say is final collection of move king attacks is equal to player.calculate attacks on tile transition board dot current. Do we not have a current player method on here? We're going to have to introduce that too. Current player get opponent get player king dot get piece position. Okay, a lot going on here, and obviously I owe an explanation, which I will provide. And the next argument that we're going to give it is transition board dot current player dot get legal moves. Right. Okay. Okay. So this is going to create a lot of compiler errors, and we're going to need to sort of resolve these one by one. Okay. So first, let's deal with the issue of the method here called CurrentPlayer that is supposed to be on the board, and it currently doesn't exist. So let's go to the board class, and right. So we have a white player and a black player on the board, but we don't really have the current player. So we're going to introduce that here. We're going to say private final player current player. Okay, and for now let's just say this dot current player is equal to null, and let's write a method called public player current player. Okay, and that's just going to return this dot current player. So if time permits, I will show us how to calculate the current player. It's actually not hard at all. You know, it's going to be based on the move maker, right? Remember, the board builder has the alliance for the move maker, and we're going to introduce a method that on the alliance that polymorphically will choose either the white player or the black player as the current player based on the alliance of the current move maker. Okay, so I think I just sort of explained that casually. I'm going to come back in detail and flesh that out, but I really don't want to lose focus of where we currently are, which is here on the make move method. Okay, so let's see, how do I want to do this? So we now, on player, we have, oh, this is just complaining because I didn't spell it correctly, get opponent, okay, opponent, get player king. Did player not have a, player should have a player king. Did I not expose that as a method? I didn't. So let's expose this, let's expose the player king in a getter, okay, so let's say public king get player king, return this dot player king. So now, okay, so this long line, I'm going to explain what this method is doing here, right? So calculate the attacks on the tile for the current player's opponent's king, and transition board current player get legal moves. And did I know I have a get, I know I have legal moves, and it looks like I haven't exposed that. So all we have to do here is create a getter method, public collection of move get legal moves, return this dot legal moves. Okay, so that should resolve our compiler errors. Okay, so we're gonna, and I'm gonna explain this, but let's just sort of finish this method. So let's say if there are no king attacks, so if king attacks, or I'm sorry, if there are king attacks, is empty. So if the king attacks are not empty, then we want to return a new move transition, and again, we can't make this move, so we're going to return this board, the move, and the move status we're going to return is move status dot leaves player in check. Okay, So we need to introduce leaves player in check into move status, right? We've got done, illegal move, and that. Implement the methods, and of course, again, it's false for is done on leaves player in check. Okay, and then the last thing we're going to do here is we're just going to say return new move transition. Oops. Transition board move and done. Right. So we came in here and we first asked if the move is illegal, that is to say it's not part of the collection of legal moves that the player has, then the move transition that you return does not take us to a new board. It returns the same board and the move status is illegal. Then the next thing we do is we use the move to polymorphically execute the method, polymorphically execute the move and return us a new board that we transition to. And we ask, are there any attacks on the current player's king when we do that? And if there are, then we shouldn't have been able to make that move, right? You can't make a move that exposes your king to check. So if those attacks are not empty, again, return this board and a move status of leave player in check. Otherwise, return the move transition board wrapped in a new move transition. Okay, so to calculate the attacks on the king, we basically invoke this helper method that we wrote called calculate attacks on tile, and we pass in the current player's opponent king, right? Because after we make the move, after we execute the move, we're no longer the current player, right? We get that king position, and then we get the current player's legal moves, right? So we come in here, we make the move. Now this is going to return a new board where the current player switches over to the opponent, right? So if we were white coming in, the transition board's current player is going to be black, right? So what we're asking for is what were white's king's where was white's king, right? King position, and get black's legal moves to see if they attack that white king. Hopefully that makes sense. We'll definitely step through this code in the debugger, and we will see how it plays out. And so it should become more obvious then. Right, so this is a critical method for us. Make move really is sort of at the centerpiece of playing the game of chess. What's remaining for us to do is to flesh out all of the different types of moves that can be made. So I'm going to leave that for a future video. I hope this was helpful to you guys. Please do rate, comment, and subscribe. If you guys have any questions, please ask them in the comment box, and I'll do my best to answer. Thanks again, guys.